Hi, everybody, and welcome to the second week of the Coach Curt Cignetti Show. And here we go with more talk about the IUP Crimson Hawks. Yes, it's a 2-0 record now with a 55-0 win at Cheyney University last Saturday afternoon. Let's talk about the game, Coach, and some interesting things. You know, when you play a team that doesn't have a good record and maybe doesn't have a good reputation for years in football, sometimes you play down to their level. But you guys seem to be very well prepared for this game.
Yeah, I thought so. And I thought it was ironic, too, Jack, that in your 500th game we put up 2 5s. Well, 55-0.
That sounds good to me, believe me. You know, one thing about Cheyney that we do see, that they play hard.
Yeah.
You know, they don't come out, they don't just bend, you know, they give you a tough battle for a while, but they were outmanned.
Yeah, that's true, and I give them a lot of credit. I did think that they played extremely hard. They didn't play well the week before. They gave great effort throughout the game. I thought our guys did too, and you know, we had more talent and overcame. But I thought our mental intensity throughout the game and our decision making for the most part was good, and I think we took a step forward as a team.
Mm-hmm. You know, there was one strange series there where they had their deepest penetration at 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line, and it ends up 4th and 50. I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that, but because of their penalties, you guys had 3 sacks in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up, it was an
Great
unbelievable
job up front on defense. They got in the red area a couple times, and we pushed them back every time, and that was a great series for our defense. You know, they weren't going to let them score. And then they lined up to kick a field goal the next series, and we blocked it, run it back for a touchdown. It was a great job by Isaiah Stokes on the block, and a scoop and score by Eric Doe. And we had about 10 of our guys leading the charge. Mm-hmm. So, you know, guys were playing hard still. Yeah,
95 yards for Eric Doe. Yeah. Some good team play there, special teams play. Needless to say, the defense was outstanding. Talk about them a little bit, even some individuals maybe you want to bring up.
I expected us to play well defensively because, you know, we'd given up some points the week before, which was a little bit uncharacteristic of us. So didn't say much about it throughout the week. I knew it would take care of itself, and it did. They made a couple plays early, Cheyney, but then we rose to the occasion. You know, we created turnovers, interceptions, created great field position for the offense on 3 or 4 different occasions, and we got to play a lot of people, you know, at all positions, got some valuable experience. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I think it was a good day for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up a name of Don Ray Tillman, freshman out of Sterling, Virginia.
Right,
so you had told me in the pregame that, you know, we're going to play this kid. We're going to let him get in there. I think he had 7 tackles. He did a good job. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he comes from Potomac Falls, Virginia. That's in the northern Virginia area. And you know, he's about 6'4". I think he's grown an inch since he's been here. You know, so he's probably pushing 6'5" right now. He's about 250 pounds. He's a really good athlete, was a good basketball player, played receiver as a junior. But he's got a live body and gives great effort, and he's got a huge upside. He's only going to get better and better. He's still a little bit raw. He's got a, you know, stance, get off, hand placement, pad level assignments. But now he's going to get coached, you know, every single day. He worked with us on the scout team last week till Wednesday, and then we made the decision on Thursday to move him up. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think he's going to help us, and I think he's only going to get better.
You've gone with young people at the linebacking spot because of necessity. Right. Catlin didn't play last week. Of course, Kevin Clark's been out for a while. Have you been pleased with what they've done?
Yeah, I think they're getting better, and we've been undermanned there. Our numbers are down there at that position too because Nick Dabowski's been out. Of course, Kevin Clark is almost the all-time leading tackler here, and you know, he's been out since camp for him, and he's real close to coming back, and we'll get Miles Catlin back this week. And Nick Dabowski played Saturday, and I thought he played well. So we're getting closer to full strength, and the young guys are getting more reps and opportunities, getting better.
Mm-hmm. Was it predetermined that Lenny would play only a half? Did you figure going into the game, if we do the right things and the score is right, we'll play him a half and have Mike play the second half?
Well, you know, I never go in assuming anything in a football game. But once we took control in the second quarter, and you know, at halftime, you know, Lenny had the ball in his hands. I think he had 11 carries. Now, a couple of them were sacks that were really was his doing. So he had been hit a few times, and I thought, at that point we had the game, and it was a great opportunity to get Mike some work with the #1 offense, which he needs. He gets a lot of work at practice with the 2s, but he doesn't get a lot of work with the 1s. And you never know when he's going to be called upon. So I thought in the long run it would be really helpful to everybody if we could make that happen. So it was nice to be able to rest Lenny for a half too. Yeah.
It's interesting with Mike Petropola. We know that he was, last year as a freshman, he played several different places for you. So he got the late word that I got to switch you back to quarterback.
Yeah.
It looks like that he hasn't missed a beat. I'm sure he's not caught up yet, but he looks pretty good. He's a good athlete.
Yeah, he's a great athlete, and he competes and he's smart. He's got a strong arm and he's got good running ability. And occasionally I forget that he's under-repped at quarterback, and I've probably put him in a couple situations when he's been in there that maybe I shouldn't have, on some a little bit more sophisticated type things maybe that he hadn't gotten the reps on. But he's getting better every week, and I feel confident that, if called upon in a critical situation, that he could come in and be successful.
Curt, you mentioned he has a strong arm, and he certainly showed that. Our offensive player of the game was Chris Wiesner with 8 receptions, 169 yards. And what a fantastic catch he made, diving for the ball down around the 10-yard line, whatever. And then Mike showed that he does have that pretty strong arm. So all in all, a couple of weeks ago, we didn't even know who this guy was, Wiesner.
Yeah.
But he's come along for you.
Yeah, he has, and I'm not surprised because he's a real smart guy that works really hard. He was a fifth-year senior. He's been in a Division I program for four plus years, and he's got good speed. And I thought he really had an outstanding game. He had a long catch also called back when Eddie Byers' helmet came off. So he actually would have added to his numbers. But the particular play where he laid out and caught the post, he did a great job running the route, and I give Mike a lot of credit. He made the right read, and he threw that ball 58 yards in the air, and Chris was laid out flat, and it was a tremendous play.
It was a tremendous play, no question. Different coaches have different thoughts about redshirting.
Right.
Whether to play a player who's talented, keep him, see for the future. What are your thoughts?
Well, we get so many reps in camp, and everybody gets an opportunity to get repetitions. And the thought process is, if a guy is ready to help the team and can play successfully, and we think he's mature enough that he can handle the academics and the playing load, then we're going to play him. And this particular class, the last one wasn't a real big class in numbers, but it's good talent. As every year we seem to be recruiting a little bit better and better. So if guys can help the football team be successful, then they're going to play. And the other thing about redshirting too is, when you play these guys as freshmen, you never quite know what's down the road. I mean, if a guy gets injured, he might lose a year. So now, a number of guys aren't quite ready to play, and those guys get redshirted. So
yeah, it's interesting how each coach has his own way of looking at it. Edinboro, we were talking on the way over. 8 teams in the PSAC West after 3 weeks. Of course, IUP's only played 2 games. 6 teams are undefeated.
Yeah.
That's unreal. They're 3-0. They've beaten St. Joe's of Indiana and Lockhaven. Then their big win last week was a double overtime over Westchester. They gave up a lot of yards. Tell us what you see about them.
Well,
so
they've got
far.
a new coaching staff. Head coach is doing a great job of getting the team to believe, and extremely well coached. They're scoring a lot of points on offense, throwing for a lot of yards. Quarterback really understands what they're trying to get done. He's very efficient. They've upgraded their receiving core. On defense, they're very sound in what they do, and they make good adjustments during the game. Their special teams have been outstanding. And I'm sure they're going to be real excited. They're 3-0, and the West is tough. There's a lot of parity in the West. And you got to be ready to play every week, and then bring your A game. And that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, it was surprising. We haven't said in the past that an Edinboro team never won a game in the season. They were 0-11 last year, and they've gotten off to a great start. The other thing that I noticed is they had a good attendance last week. Now, they were on the road for 2 weeks, so winning will bring people out, won't it?
Yeah, it will, and I'm sure they're going to have a great crowd, and there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm in the stands. So it'll be a tremendous challenge for us, and I'm looking forward to it, but we got a lot of work to do between now and then to get ready to play, and I'm sure our kids will be excited too.
Yeah. Overall picture from last week's play against Cheyney, and so far, to where we are now. Of course, you didn't play the first week. You're pretty pleased with the way things are going?
Yeah, I think that we're on schedule. I think all three phases, have improved. The Cheyney game went about like I kind of thought it might going into it. Our defense rose to the occasion. Our special teams continue to be solid. Now we can kick the ball. We can punt the ball and kick off a little better. And we had a low PAT that got blocked and missed a field goal. But the other elements of the teams have really improved, I think. And offensively, it took us a little bit of time to get going in this past game, which really didn't surprise me. But once we did, we were in good shape, and it's just a matter now of weekly preparation and taking the preparation onto the field, because the camp routine is different than the in-season routine. And I would venture to say, because of who we played last week, that the off-the-field preparation done by the players in terms of, you see nowadays with technology the way it is, they've got access to all the tape.
Yeah.
So they can do a lot of preparation in their free time when they're not studying. And I would guess that they probably didn't study quite as much last week. And now this week it's going to be critically important that they do.
It's probably good that Edinboro is undefeated. That makes it, they look at this and say, well, geez, these guys didn't win last year, but they're winning now.
Yeah, I mean, they believe they're undefeated. And so we need a challenge like this, and we're going to get one.
All right. I don't know if people realize how tough it must be preparing for games week after week after week, especially 3 in a row on the road. That's not easy.
Well, 3 in a row is tough, and now we got the 2 longest trips behind us. This one won't be quite as long. It's a 12 o'clock game, and then we come back for a lot of home games. But you're right, the week-to-week grind of the preparation, it really is a sprint once the season begins, and so far so good.
Well, I put in perspective the 500. A lot of years, a lot of games, a lot of memories, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Curt, good luck to you against Edinboro. It should be a dandy. It's been a long rivalry between these schools, and it should be interesting. Should be fun.
It will be.
Okay,
Thanks.
good luck. All right, that's Coach Show for this week. It is a noon kickoff, and it's a relatively easy drive to Edinboro anymore, no problem. So maybe we'll see you there and be listening and watching for IUP football. For the coach, this is Jack Benedict. Have a nice evening.